right there. Is there? Let's add. Can't add Matt for some reason. There he is. Where are we going? Tastes good. Oh. Why is that going through there? Push tool. Yes. Okay. Is that? Yeah, I see. Testing. Testing. Woo! Fire up the stage. Let's get going. Where is it? Live stream. Good morning, people on YouTube. Good morning, friendly YouTube people. Metaverse. Good morning. There's heaps of Kaiju gameplay. That was one of the early ones. Yeah, they've got quite a bit out. Strictly sports. Yeah, it's funny. I just sold more Star Atlas ships so I could buy more sneakers in Step N myself. Well done on the picking the top shots. It's top shots. That was on the blockchain. You're talking top shots, or you mean old basketball cards? Oh, nice. I had a mate that that was there as well. That has those on there. But let's get across to our guests. I think we've got some people here at Grape waiting for us. Turn that music off. Let us get into Grape. Neither can Josh. Good morning, Kaiju. Mike and Josh. Good morning, lads.
Hey, what's up, Barn Dog? Good evening for us. Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, dudes. I am doing awesome. Sorry, I was talking. You would have seen the
Oh,
mouth moving, but it would be to YouTube. That's all. I've got some people on YouTube as well at the same time.
okay. I was worried that we were going to have some audio problems, as you know, we're all switching between apps 100% of the time these days, but we are good to go.
Yeah, no, that is awesome, and I appreciate you guys joining in. Let me get everything live there. It is live on YouTube at the same time. So I mean, this is the first time I've had you guys join me, Mike and Josh, at all at Grape. So it's super amazing to get here. But we've been doing Grape Gaming Days for a while now. Streaming Solana stuff for a long time, for over half a year, 6 months now on Saturday nights. But we've kind of pivoted to this Tuesday session. Because it gives us a chance to bring in American guests in a much better time zone and comfort than our Saturday night. So tonight we've got, as I've got in the flyer, we've got Kaiju first, then we've got Gyris, and we've got Metaforge finishing it off. And first on stage, I've got Mike and Josh from Kaiju. Gentlemen, did you guys have any screen share or video that you wanted me to be showing at the same time?
I do have one thing that I would like to share, if possible. It is screen share from Discord, but it
Yep.
is not required. It's something publicly available that people can go and see themselves if they'd like.
Mate, no, that is awesome. I can swap over to your capture and everybody can see it. So, first of all, welcome along, Mike and Josh. I am super pumped to actually get you guys here at stage. I know you've just started doing AMAs, and your first one was a text one, I noticed. And I think you had done something maybe last week, it might have been for a live AMA on Twitter. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, correct. It was Thursday, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before that, the 31st of March. We did a Twitter Spaces to celebrate the launch of Genesis Quests. And before that, we did indeed do a text AMA just in our Discord. We are indeed coming out of a kind of quiet, heads down building phase now. And we're really, really happy to be here with you in particular. You're a fixture in the Solana gaming space and have been for a long time. So thank you for having us, and no better place to do it.
No, I appreciate you saying so, Mike. I mean, obviously, I've been building for as long as you have. When you think about it,
Yep.
it's we've all been here from the start of Solana gaming, and you guys are one of the OGs. And it is interesting to see the staking side of it coming out. Anytime you've got camera, I think is that. Oh no, anytime you've got, let me know for your screen share. I'm absolutely keen to see things from devs. So it's something we don't make
Yep.
mandatory, but if cameras and/or screen share, everybody is always keen to see these things. And I find building out in this space, showing a little bit of a beautiful beard every now and again doesn't hurt.
Love it, man. Love it. Yeah, I mean, it's all about tangible results, what you ship, what you get out there. So I totally agree. Seeing is believing in this space. A lot of projects are out there delivering amazing things, and the more that we can show what we're actually building, I mean, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. If I can show you what we're building, that goes further than any Medium post or talk or anything I could give. So yeah, at the right time, the thing I do want to show just for your awareness is it's just a very early version of the Kaiju Cards game that we're using on staging for development work. I'd just be showing a brief video of that and kind of how it works to supplement any description of the game that we give. That way people can actually see what we're building.
That is awesome. We'll definitely get to that. Just give us a quick half an hour. It's going to go in so quick a time. We're only just starting now. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if we run a few minutes over. We always do. But the last guest usually gets to go for as long as they like, which is cool. But my whole concept of the Great Gaming Day is to be able to get in games that are building for a long time. Something that you can sink your teeth into and play. Not necessarily going to be this mint flip bullshit that we've accepted, and
Hmm.
that has caused problems in Solana gaming for the long-term builders. There is certainly, I see a shift at the moment actually in going to people wanting games and actually to play these games because we're starting to get tangible games coming out now. But
Yep.
this is the whole thing, is getting in games that have either been building on the space or might potentially have something cool, something fun. It doesn't need to be the world's best AAA game, but it's got to be something that we can enjoy. And you guys have put out a lot of content over the last probably 4 to 6 weeks, like a lot of extra stuff with the questings and the games and your videos. Like I think it was 1 minute and 40 seconds, the video about the actual building process. Getting your bits and pieces together, collecting them from quests, and then building a bigger item to go and defeat the monster in the dungeon. Like, that was some pretty cool shit to see.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
It was, and it's cool. So I've looked at the floor price here and there. I monitor the market a lot less these days myself now. You're in the games you're in, and you hold on to the NFTs. That's the way I look at it. So sometimes if you want to buy more, you look at the marketplace. But I'll have a quick flick while we're doing this at the same time. Just give us a quick 411 of Kaiju, if you can, Mike, for the last few months where you started, just to catch people up that aren't familiar with the project.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, so I am Mike. I'm here with my co-founder, Josh. We are two of the three original co-founders, all still at the project. What I'm going to do is just briefly intro myself. I'm going to turn it over to Josh to intro himself, and then he'll be able to really detail a little more about the game. My name is Mike, like I said. I've been working in the blockchain space for about 3 years. I have worked at various projects, mainly on Ethereum. This is the first project that I've founded, along with a couple other people I really respect. We're a very art-forward and culture-forward project. So we bring some game design and blockchain expertise. We've been around for about 7 months now. Like Barn Dog said, we've been building about the same amount of time. And for us, the goal is really to create a blockchain game that's available on the web that, like you said, is fun to play. We're aiming to create an actual compelling game full of puzzles you have to solve and, complex, changing dynamic problems and all that good stuff. At this point, I'm going to hand it over to Josh, just because he is a little deeper on the game design side than I am, to intro himself and talk about our game just a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, Barn Dog. I'm Josh. Yeah, like Mike said, I'm one of the co-founders. I typically am a little closer to game design and tokenomic design in terms of what I bring to Kaiju Cards. In terms of what our game is, in its essence, it is a deck-building roguelike game. I would say that there are a lot of RPG elements that cater to what the deck-building process is. So I don't know how familiar you are with deck builders or roguelikes, Barn Dog.
I played Magic the Gathering from '92. I've got a little thing on the back wall here. You might not see it, but deck building games and stuff. I actually noticed in your latest medium, watching you guys sitting at a table with cards displayed out, people taking notes, and the deck building side of it. Yeah, definitely see the not similarities. I obviously don't know what the cards do at the moment, but I think Magic the Gathering, I'm an old school gamer for that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of us come from that tradition where you build a deck, you want to customize your deck, and you want to push the limits of like how good your deck is and optimize it, right? But the way we're dealing with that is through character collection and character customization. So you have these characters, these kaijus, they all have different cards related to them. And you can progress these characters by playing the game and gaining things like experience and getting gems. And with these things, you can, level up your characters, explore talent trees, you could customize your cards. And that is the deck building process in addition to the character collecting. So it's a little bit of a creative approach to the deck builder.
And this is where we're going to start seeing some of this utility with NFTs and the metadata and stuff like this. I remember something Mike said, last year, and he was saying, I wonder whether people are going to know how to use the NFTs. And my answer back then was no, but we will learn, right? We're going to have to learn. This is new technology. So you look at the characters and the cards growing in experience and level, and that's obviously the metadata getting fixed and changed and adjusted. So it's all very exciting. Have you guys got a lot of background card gaming yourselves then? Is that where the inspiration that comes from for Kaiju?
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody on staff has like played a lot of games, a lot of card games, a lot of tabletop games. I mean, Tyler, our creative director, he's like a competitive Warhammer player, and one of our game designers has worked on a pretty big card game. Yeah, I mean, we're all really into card games and deck builders. It's definitely hits close to home for a lot of us.
Yeah, so I mean, that's going to, when you say deck building, obviously that's going to come down to either having multiple NFTs, but a lot of the deck building is going to come from actually physically playing Kaiju, yeah? So playing some of these games, doing the quests, doing the achievements, getting the items in the game, and then being able to build your own Kaijus. Because you guys announced, it would have been 4 or 6 weeks ago now, about the fact that you're going to allow the Genesis to be able to build more cards as well.
Right. Yeah, so, there will be a process called summoning where your Gen 0 cards, the Gen 0 cards are the cards that are currently available, will be able to summon Gen 1 cards. And our first generation of cards is going to be adopting a new system where these characters are generative and they have lots of different attributes. And these attributes are related not just to the stats of the characters, but also the cards available to them.
I think it highlights a good point. I mean, Barn Dog, you were talking about collecting multiple cards, and yeah, absolutely, that's part of it. You'd want to have multiple characters, but a Gen 0 character, just playing the game with that allows you to get enough gems to create a Gen 1 character, or more than one. So you're kind of building your cohort of Kaiju cards as you play, and different cards have different classes, and like Josh said, the Gen 1 cards will have different attributes as well. So there's a lot of opportunity, not just to go on the market and buy characters and collect them, but to get valuable things via playing, and to build more and more compelling team party compositions or items or what have you via playing.
And obviously the quest has started, Mike. Like you're saying, you can get those gems. I'm locked out. I think that you've got a couple of people potentially locked out of the game at the moment with the characters have gone missing. So I've got to wait for that to be reset. But I've done the first 3 days of quests and seen how the system works with getting the gems, and then seen the video you've done recently on the updated quest system to the quest system 2.0. And it looks good. It's smooth, It's not anything hardcore, but you've got a little bit of story with each of the people. You can click on them and you can read through and see what they do. And it was a fairly smooth actual quest system. So at the moment, there's nothing for multiplayer, but you're saying that potentially guilds and that as well are going to be that alleviation to not needing to have multiple cards, as you'll be able to play with friends and guilds and stuff, yeah?
So not specifically multiplayer inside of the game, but the kind of multiplayer system will be more of a metagame among guilds, sharing resources, sharing items, and all that. We are exploring multiplayer and PvP modes, but for now it will be a PvE experience.
Sorry, when I say multiplayer, I mean like team play type thing.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I mean, there will be leaderboards. There will be a lot of competitive aspects to the game, if that's specifically what you're asking about.
So it's been a long time building. You guys are starting to come out with more and more content, but what's been really cool is that you've kept us constant. You've kept us constantly updated, not needed to stress about the some of the projects. It's been a difficult process building out on Solana at the moment, is it not?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to talk a little bit about that? And obviously, I mentioned at the start of the show about this mint flip problems that we had with Solana last year. Everybody wanted to mint a NFT and sell it and buy a house. But that's not how we build games, is it? We've got to get the money, we've got to raise funds, and then build a game. And you guys have been doing exactly that. So all of this game play that we're seeing at the moment, the videos, all of that's all from scratch from after mint. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. And I think you've hit on some really important points. Josh and I were actually just talking about this earlier today. There's a huge difference in expectation. There's a disparity between a PFP project and a gaming project, and the horizon into which you're investing and betting on a game and waiting for results or things to be built and things to use are very, very different things. It takes a long time to build a game. And, no company wants to release a very, very early, broken, not good looking version of the game just to get something out there. So there is a different horizon, a time horizon for building that I think is really important to understand when investing in gaming projects and also just waiting for them. And I think that you really have the right mindset there. Barn Dog, you were talking earlier about, I check the market when I want to buy something. But really for me, I buy because I like the game. I'm in, I wait for the game developments to come out. I'm excited to play. These are all kind of things that you wait around for, right? In terms of building right now, there are definitely some hiccups. I think that we live in a very idealistic space in blockchain, right? We want everything to be fully decentralized. We want it to be non-custodial. We want everything to be mediated by smart contracts, fully transparent on chain. But the reality is that most blockchains are in their infancy. I mean, even ETH, one of the oldest blockchains around, is still in its infancy. You still have gas wars over there. They still haven't figured out like certain things very, very basic to the chain. NFTs on the chain are still just JSONs associated to a token URI. It's a very it's in its infancy, and I can't stress that enough. So any pains related to building are mainly due to those two things I highlighted on. The first one being the disparity in expectation between a profile picture NFT versus a game, and two, the infancy of the tech layers that we're actually building on. But I mean, it's nothing we can't handle, man. I'm personally really excited. I'm someone who likes to look towards the future, adopt things early, learn about them, help build them. So, I mean, they're pain points, but they're nothing that we and the many other great builders on Solana can't overcome.
This is the thing, isn't it? Really, is we need the teams like yourself to just knuckle down and keep doing what you're doing, keep building. It's hard to see, and people FUD projects and talk shit, and you've touched on a point there as well with the decentralized. Is everybody does want decentralized and loves the concept of it, but to get to decentralized is going to take a lot of time and pain, I think. And you need centralized before you can get to decentralized to get the games out. We've seen some games try to come out and build in a decentralized manner, and it just doesn't happen. I've seen probably two examples that have rugged, and not intended to rug. They were good teams, they were good people, but they've just seen that it's impossible to build a decentralized game at this stage. So I think even here at Grape Protocol, we're learning the decentralized platform, and I'm trying to get myself more down the decentralized side of things as well. But it is super cool that you guys are still pumping away, Mike, and it's impressive to see the gameplay and the updates. So you said you had something to show us on screen today that was relevant to updates. So it's not going to be alpha, it's going to be stuff that's readily available, but we are keen to see anything you've got.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to start my screen share now, and let me know when you're switched over, and then I can kind of describe what's happening on the screen. Are we all good to go there, my friend?
I'm just loading up now.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. I'm just hearing lots of those like noises of people tuning into the screen share, which happens often on Discord, right? And so I was like, oh, maybe he's good to go.
I can see the mushroom farmer. Oh, I've got some feedback for me.
There's nothing playing right now. It is a static image.
Yep. So you've got a mushroom farmer and a gelatinous cube.
Yep. So this is foundational testing. This was put out, I want to say, I'll check at the end. This has been out for a little while inside of our Discord on the sneak peek channel. The purpose of this test and this build is to test specifically out this bottom row of things you see here. So this is your deck of cards, this is your current hand, and this is your discard pile. It is turn-based gameplay. So on the left is you, the player. On the right is the enemy. And so what we're going to see here is the use of cards. And this is all working gameplay on a web build that we have at the moment. I do want to stress very heavily, this is not meant to impress aesthetically. This doesn't have any of the actual dynamic game art, sprite art, anything like that. This is for technical foundation. This is to make sure the game works. Of course, then after that, we can add this polish, all these great things. We do boast a team of very professional artists who are creating just what I think are absolutely wonderful character sprites. But you can see here, our developer Charlie is going through, he's kind of planning out what he's going to do. Do some attacks. You see his energy count over here. You see that that card costed 1 energy. His turn's now over. Yep, he's highlighting it here. I don't even have to do it. 0 energy, end turn. Matcha used this turn. We don't, walk you through the whole thing of which cards they're choosing and all that good stuff. But this is, like I said, kind of foundational early gameplay. I do want to highlight it. Oh, go ahead.
It's easy enough to see, which is good. So you've got it, obviously your energy, your cards, and you play them in turns and in orders. So like you said, turn based, simple enough to see.
Yep. Yeah, it's relatively straightforward. The game will be played with a party of 3. If you do not own 3 kaijus, no problem. There will be free-to-play characters with their associated decks. And there will usually be more than 1 enemy unless it's a boss. The background will be reactive, there'll be really nice fog, the layers separated, high res, all that nice stuff that you want to see out of a game, right? But this illustrates the idea very well, the basic idea of gameplay. All right, and this was about 2 months ago, February 4th. Like I said, sneak peek channel in our Discord.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of stuff. Game backgrounds. This one's really nice. I love this. Character sprites. Scroll down to character sprite animation. Here's our lovely skeleton warrior. Idling. Taking a sec to load, some lag. But yeah, please, if you join our Discord, if you're out there and curious, I post updates. I try to post them every 3 or 4 days. Development updates, animation updates, all that good stuff.
Now, I'm not super active within the Discord. Obviously, there's only so much time a bloke has, but I've noticed that people have generally speaking, come to terms with how you guys operate in Discord. It's good. You've got regular updates. You do talk to people in the channels yourself as well. I have noticed that you do updates. There was a specific Grape channel at one stage. What was that? The Tavern, I think it was.
Yep. Yeah. The Tavern is the holder gated channel where people who actually hold and are willing to verify that they hold Kaiju cards all hang out. The vibes are immaculate. It's just tons of people, talking about markets, talking about the game, actually helping us find bugs in Genesis Quest, which we just released. Lot of just good vibes, honestly. It's really nice to have that innovation of the holders only channel.
And speaking of sales of NFTs and stuff, it's something I've kind of watched. It's not often. I just kind of, if I see some news, I go and then have a look potentially at the price. And you did see some big-ish sales. But when I say big-ish, around that 3 to 5 marker. So uncommons and rares were actively selling in the last couple of weeks. So there's definite interest still in the game. You can tell with an NFT game whether it's actually selling NFTs in the marketplace, if it's doing any good. So there was obviously the sales last year. You did it in 2 parts. And are there more cards getting released this year, Mike, or is there any plans to update that to refund continuation with the project, or is what you've done so far, that's what's going to go into the game at the moment?
Yeah, so what we've done so far is what's going to go into the game at the moment. When new cards do come out, they will be created by characters and players who own those characters. So we aren't planning on doing another sale. I personally really, really believe that we had a couple great sales, and it is now our time to push out some actual products for the community to use. So that's our focus. We're not planning sales. We're not developing sales. My number one goal is let's get this game out there.
Yep.
Let's get this playable alpha out there in the next 2 months. This quarter, it's coming. And let's just iterate from there. That's not to say that further sales down the road of special edition things or new characters aren't out of the question, but right now, really not the focus at all.
Because realistically, being a card game, there's like first edition, second edition, third edition, fourth, revised,
Yep.
Arabian Nights, Antiquities, all these kinds. Like thinking back to Magic, it's still going 25 years down the track. So it's been longer than that, hasn't it? It's been 30 years, is it, for Magic?
I think it might have. Yeah, it's been a long time. We know that.
Yeah, I've a sneaky thing. I've still got a packet of beta unopened. I've got to get that one day and put it on display. But
Yeah, man.
That's some. It's a card game that's been going for 30 years, so I definitely see potential to do future editions. But it's awesome that you don't need to do that to get the game producing. So it's not a matter of making more sales for you guys now. Like you're saying, it's getting that game out and playing that game. So we're 25 minutes into it now. What have we got to look forward to for the next 4 to 8 weeks for Kaiju? Then is there a rough timeline on? I could see some marketplace in your latest update as well. So you guys are doing your own marketplace. Is that going to be available on just PC at the moment, or is it both mobile?
It will have mobile compatibility. Genesis Quest also does have mobile compatibility. Whether or not that's a smooth experience depends on a couple factors, mainly the integration with Phantom Wallet. Phantom Wallet does force, I think, a portrait view or a landscape view, one of the two. But let me address your point about what's coming. So this quarter, which ends in June, the two things that we're going to be delivering are the marketplace. The marketplace gives our utility token gems a utility. You spend gems on items, which will further help you on the quests and eventually in the main game. So that's number one, marketplace. The number two thing that we are delivering this quarter is a playable alpha of the game. It's going to include integrated character sprites, more cards like you saw in the demo that I showed, and an actual progression of dungeon rooms that you fight through with an eventual boss. Those are coming, you said 6 to 8 weeks. That's roughly dead on. This quarter ends in June. Those are the things that we're working on right now.
So gameplay quarter 2. That's pretty cool. And you're talking about bosses. So does that mean with the Genesis quests? And from Metaverse in the crowd, there's just asking, can we have a brief explanation of the Genesis quests? I can show you now. Metaverse, you get your cards, and you come in and you stake them for anywhere from 1 to 30 days with one of the 3 NPCs here, and you load in. You sit down at the table, you read through the information, and then you can stake them for a certain amount of gems per time, and you can do that with multiple kaijus or just one kaiju. So generally speaking, I think the single day in the middle fish NPC gave us the best. Gems will be for the game, yeah. Nothing at the moment. So can you talk to us about the gems? Because down the track there's going to be fungible tokens involved as well, isn't there, Mike? You're going to need a bit of wood, a bit of wax to potentially build something. You showed us in one of the videos you did recently of them going and having to collect all of these fungible tokens to then build an NFT weapon to defeat a boss. So at the moment, just gems. Does the Genesis 2 change any of that, or is it still just gems?
Just gems, but with added items, NFTs. So not fungible tokens, like you mentioned. The resource tokens, we're calling them, the fungible tokens, will come. But the marketplace, which is the next thing that's coming, allows you to spend gems for essentially class archetypal items. So those are just 5 separate items, one for each class, that you'll be able to purchase with gems. Those will be in the form of NFTs.
Oh, is that the boosts, the boost ups, the relics as well? So they'll be for sale?
No, so relics are actually attached to characters. A lot of the things in the game will be attached to characters. So like these playing cards are attached to characters. These relics are attached to characters. So when you're buying a character or summoning a character, you're not just getting the character, you're getting these associated traits, associated cards, associated abilities. So relics will be one of those things. I do really recommend anyone who's interested in the game, check out the roguelike genre. I think it'll be really elucidating. Check out Slay the Spire, check out Monster Train. There's quite a few out there. You'll be able to look them up. But they detail pretty well how relics will work, how these playing cards will work, how dungeon traversal will work, bosses, all these great things. We're very much building in that genre.
I like it, dude. I like it. Well, we're coming up on our half an hour. Like I said, half an hour goes very, very quick in a space like this.
It really does.
It gets us through some basics, but we're more than happy to have you guys back in, 4 to 6 weeks' time or whatever. We're building out. You would have seen the photo we did there for the Notorious DEAN. So
I love it.
Dean, yeah, he bought that Notorious Bean way back at Genesis time, and he was so excited back then. And we didn't know what NFTs were going to do back then and how long these games would take to build out. And it's, we are seeing a whole lot of slow rugs. We're seeing a lot of projects doing those slow rugs, not through intentional problems, not through intentional being bad in the space. They've just not realized building out a game is fucking hard. It takes time. It takes, devs need to get paid. Projects need to progress. And if you're not making any more sales, that could affect some games. And, they're working harder, and then they might lose a dev and have to replace that dev, and then you've got to catch up on work. And I'm guessing you said something you said there at the start of the AMA today, or of Grape Gaming Day, was you guys have stuck with the project. So, like you are the original co-founders. So that is very cool. It's good to see the team has been strong through the space.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can't stress it enough. It is so hard, not only to build in the crypto space, but to build a crypto game. Just building in the crypto space at all is very difficult. And this is not for me. This is to give respect to you and to every other builder in the space who is out there doing what they need to do to help us further this technology. So props to you, props to everyone in Solana. Slow rugs happen. It sucks, but it's not easy. I think you said it really well. So much appreciated.
It's just one of those things as well, like do your research on your team. So it's awesome to see, like cards now having a utility in the game, and you can actually see it's not just stake this card and it gives you a certain amount of crypto coins. Is they've got actual thought process behind it, and you can read what the NPCs are saying. And it's interesting to see the videos. I like you could see the one 4 weeks ago where they went into the dungeon, tried to fight the monster, couldn't defeat the monster, and then had to go through Kaiju World and do different quests to get all these different things. That was cool, man. Like that was really good progression. Sitting from the sidelines, just seeing that update, and that's all we needed. We need those little bits of updates, and it's really cool to see it, and we hope to see more.
Cheers, man. Thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, and appreciate the spotlight that you give to all Solana games.
Any closing thoughts from yourself, Josh, on today?
Stay tuned. Stuff is coming. Save your gems. You're going to be able to buy some equipment with that soon, and that's what you're going to need to spend if you want to summon Gen 1 characters. So, yeah.
So you need to spend the gems to summon Gen 1 characters. Do you mean if you don't have a party of 3 and you want to do a dungeon? Is that kind of what you mean?
Well, you'll be able to play the game no matter what if you don't have enough characters. But Gen 0 characters will have the ability to summon a Gen 1 character. And in order to do that, you need a Gen 0 character and gems. And gems are being distributed through Genesis Quest. So,
right
for anybody who doesn't know right now. Yeah.
To be clear, summoning is the ownership of the character that you summon. It's not just like an ally, like a la Marvel versus Capcom, where they come in and they slap the other character and leave. This is a new NFT that you own. It's like breeding in another game. But hey, we've run 5 minutes past. I really don't want to keep taking up your time. I know you have other guests, Barn Dog.
No, that's good. Thank you, gentlemen. And I look forward to seeing updates, and good luck in the building, and we will talk later on.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much, Barn Dog.
Cheers, lads.
Bye.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Now I'm trying to find the right picture. He's going to be one of these. Mr. Satoshi. Good morning. Good morning. So second guest we'll have in today from Gyris. We've got Adam coming in to talk to us. This is his second time on Grape Gaming Day. I can see he's loading in his camera. It must be cold there. He's got a beanie on. No, it can't be that cold down there, can it?
Mate, no, I put this on because you've been ball shaming me.
I know, I have been. That beautiful
So,
bald head, you know, but you've got the
I've put
beard.
on. So I've put on my. This is actually from PNG. Good place to hide your drugs in. No, this is a sweet beanie, handmade beanie from the highlands of Papua New Guinea. One of the geographic inspirations for the Bura lands in Gyris. What's up, my dude?
I was just going to say, do we need to say that that was not my surfboard bag? You know, those weren't my drugs. Yeah, bit of an old Australian joke. We won't get into that. It was definitely hers, definitely her surfboard, but we won't get into that one. Dude, I see you've been painting your room in the last 4 to 6 weeks. You stripped it, you painted it, you then put everything back on the walls again. You've had a whirlwind experience at Gyris. We've been through the minting phase, which is still ongoing. And just give us a quick 411 for people that aren't familiar with who Gyris is while I pop out a few links.
Easy, man. I put in actually put the pitch deck in your chat as well. We are a extremely ambitious, narrative-driven project building on Unreal Engine 5, creating what we think is a truly novel and amazing gaming metaverse. So we, started building, like probably 8 months ago now, and the what got me motivated was I didn't feel like there was any great art in NFTs. Back then, that was pretty much 100% true, and now it's a little less true, but I would say still fairly true. And there was no truly deep lore in NFT land, and that for me was extremely disappointing because, as probably you do, Barn Dog and others, it's such a great opportunity for storytelling. When you can relate to a story, it is more powerful. So what better way, than to own a piece of the story, than to own the characters that are part of a deep narrative and a hard world that's been building. So Gyris is completely imagined. It is all our own intellectual property. It is this Genesis collection. We're doing the first character drop now, which is the Genesis Bura. Those big motherfuckers wielding the different weapons. And behind you can see a film that I'm writing. I've actually got 3 films worth of storyline. It's a huge, massive, immersive world that we're building. But first steps on a very long journey.
And we touched on there going through our first mint. That's been a tough mint. And I like how the team is not just gone, oh, we need to cut the mints now and get them on the secondary marketplace. It's impressive. I love watching how every team tackles a mint and a tough mint. You guys didn't rush it. You didn't rush decisions to start off with, but you did drop. You did drop prices to 1.75. Quickly, I guess, go over that, the thinking behind the team. Obviously, you had big meetings. You put a lot of video content on of raw self-interviews, not self-interviews, but raw discussions with YouTube, with us, the community and the crowd, to know what your team's doing.
Yeah, look, I try to be as transparent and upfront as possible. You can never please everyone in life, and that's certainly true in a Discord community. So the reason around the price drop was actually because the price had risen so much and we're slow minting, and we could always see people's concerns, but in the end, obviously, if you're a good team, at least you're trying to do the best thing for the community, because the best thing for the community is the best thing for you. So we dropped it, and then Solana dropped. But that was the kind of reasoning behind that. We're slow minting. We keep minting every day, because we keep turning up. We have a huge team, like all working in the background. So I'm managing just a team from all over the world, but mostly Australia. Really accomplished, amazing people just building great stuff, most of whom are not involved in NFTs. So it's which I think is a good thing for the most part, because they're building a game. I want them to build a game that is a great game, and that's what we're attempting to do. Not make a game that is a blockchain game and therefore is inflated for those reasons, but actually build a game that is essentially community funded. That's what I feel like a great project can be, so yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, bro.
No, it does. It does answer the question with the mints and that, and obviously the price went up. Price Solana. It's this funny thing, isn't it? I still don't think we should be pegging NFTs to Solana. I said that fucking 8 months ago, but here we are nonetheless. Obviously, Solana is a coin that goes up and down, and that then makes the teams. You guys had a set price. You wanted between $180 and $225 for an NFT, if the coin goes up and down, like you're saying with the slow mint. So then, for the people that have minted previously at the 2.5, how do you alleviate that problem?
Yeah, look, we had a little bit of sort of disgruntled community, but really not too many. We tried to field a lot of questions. We haven't yet announced anything for those people, rather just to say that kind of let us come back to that. But we already give, if you take a look at our pitch deck and you look at our offering, we went with this kind of all-inclusive mint. It's you get a fucking amazing PFP, really top quality stuff. Then you get your 3D avatar in the metaverse. You get land in the metaverse. You get an OG, a Genesis Animalia, which are coming out this month, and you get a 2D version and then your 3D OG avatar, and it'll follow you around in Gyris, and then you get to ride them around and earn Gyris token with it. The Gyris token will allow you to buy more, like skins, additional NFTs, more land. So the offering was already really quite big. So you got a range of different people saying, we need compensation, you need to give us more. We should have communicated a little bit better about the price drop. But in our heads, we were like, we told everyone in the lead up. You and I had this conversation. That's why you remember the USD price. We were trying to fund something based on what we thought was a reasonable price. And so when it had gone up double Solana, we're like, well, it's not fair to us to keep asking people the same amount of Solana, because that's not the logic that we gave to the community in the first place for charging 2.5, which people were unhappy with at the time. So the internal logic was there to try and do the best for people, but obviously some people feel slighted, and basically we just said, look, we know it's worth 2.5 and more, and that's where it'll get to once the masses are in, and we'll take a look at what we can do for those earlier bunch. But yeah, no promises at this stage, because as I said, the offering is already the financial model for Gyris. There's all these character collections. It's like a rolling delivery over the course of years for a multi-year build that will be released in stages through mini games, which are going to be fucking kick ass.
Yeah, and you've touched on a whole lot there, which is super cool, right? Like, we're getting real, we're talking about the game and the space, and I like that you've not given out false promises. There's no point promising people. You're investing in a fucking team, and this is the thing, is we've got to do the research beforehand. Multi-year build. This is important for people to understand in these games building out, is that we can't expect them to fucking mint out, sell out, and have a project within 3 months. It's going to be a building process. I linked a little picture of one of the tweets you did about the mud huts.
Yeah.
One NFT gets you a small little fucking just enough to get your old body in there, whereas you've got that bigger size, and I like seeing that. That was cool. I've minted my extras and done that, but the one of the exciting things that we see is your first mini game. You've got more video animations over the last couple of weeks showing mini games. So how exciting is it to have that building at the same time? So it's not about appeasing the public. This is in your build path. You've wanted to do the mini games.
Yeah.
How exciting is that? Where are we looking for that?
Look, it's fucking awesome. It's actually, in all honesty, it is part about appeasing. Not appeasing, but engaging. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll appease people. But it's actually, we really do want a super engaged community, and asking people to put in. Look, I've got outside of crypto. I put 10K in marijuana in New South Wales, medicinal marijuana. That was like nearly 2 years ago. I'm going crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's this? When am I going to see the returns? It was before I was like putting everything into crypto. And that's just not what we're used to in crypto land. And I think we're trying to strike the balance, which is like, understand we want to build you something fantastic. If anyone comes straight to market with a game before they mint, it's not going to be a super developed game. It's just not going to be. Now, we want to develop something really great, which we know will take multiple years. But we know that along the way, you've got to develop certain game mechanics and environments and all of these things. It is a staged out process. So if you can deliver mini games that show off some of that environment, show off some of those mechanics, then you're doing the work for the major release, and you're not appeasing. You're actually just using it as a form of engagement. So for us, og racing is perfect, because we have you've probably got the kind of racetrack somewhere there in your vids, Barn Dog, but we've got this racetrack that we're building, which goes over like a river next to a waterfall, over this kind of like sweet kind of bridge, and it's in a Gyris environment that's slowly starting to get huts on it. It'll eventually have boras running around. That's actually within part of DYOR. DYOR is the first location build. It's sort of the heartland of the Bora lands, and the Bora lands are going to be massively expansive. So the Bora lands themselves are going to have 4 major regions, 2 which are kind of forest-like, one a bit denser, one that's like the northern cold, the frozen north, and then Motun, which is like a coastal seafaring Bora place. There'll be all of these different environments, but this is kind of the first environment that's being built, and with it is og racing. So with og racing, you'll be able to link your wallet. You'll be able to choose which Bora you want. You'll be able to choose which og you want. So everyone gets a free og with every Bora, and then you'll saddle up and run around this track. That is going to be you're going to be able to get in-game rewards from that. You're going to be able to build your experience. You're going to be able to fight your friends, racing around, trying to punch them off their og. We really want this, even the mini game experience, to seem like something that spoils a community, because I think we're there's some really great games being built, but we're still devoid of, I think, really cool games in our ecosystems.
So you've mentioned a few mechanics of the race. For starters, obviously leveling up skills, being able to fight and jostle whilst you're racing. So it sounds like you've got a few mechanics planned for it. Are we looking Q3 for the mini game?
No, this quarter.
Yeah. Oh, really? Q2?
Yeah.
And how far down is it? Something that we can get all fucking degenerate in? We can gamble. We can get an Ava pool made up by them and actually have bets and races and stuff like that.
That's the plan, man. So like all these things, we think this is the right way to go, and hopefully it is. We're being extremely open with our process. Like we share, we hope that our community really gets it, and I think that they do. That when we release the first iteration of a mechanic or something in the environment, that people can understand that, oh, this is the first step in this development. But it's already, we're already really impressed with what we're putting out there. So the first thing will be that we'll get our community to kind of hop in and sort of beta test some of the basic mechanics to run around, to hop on an OG. We will really want to make sure security is top notch. So that those internal conversations happening, that in the first instance we won't have people sort of signing transactions, but we'll really make sure that the safety is there.
Yeah.
That the security is there. Give our core community a chance to kind of learn the mechanics and sort of get a bit better at the game as we're making sure that security is really strong. And then as soon as the token is released, then you'll be able to gain in-game rewards. Then betting is definitely part of that. So in-game rewards essentially works like there's a token allocation per user per day, let's say. And so when you go into race, you're essentially earning the reward, but you'll be able to bet that reward. And if perhaps you've earned more already, you'll be able to bet that against your opponent as well. Perhaps you're a baller and you can just walk in there and bet a shitload of money. Now, all of that stuff is iterations, but I really hope we check the legal on the betting stuff, and that seems to be fully okay when you're betting tokens rather than like USD. We don't have regulations. We don't have regulations to worry about from what I've been given advice on. So you can gamble your Gyris away, which I think is one of those things that people will do in the beginning, and then when the token's hot shit, you wish you never did it.
Oh, you'll gamble it away at the time because it's worth less to you at the time when you gamble.
Yeah.
That's how the nature of the beast works. But
Exactly.
It gives people something to do with the game and the token and the NFT. They'll get a certain allocation and you have a bit of fun, right? Poker's one of the most commonly played games on Discord. And a lot of the time it's just with the token relevant. It could be the Grape protocol. It was Grape tokens. Yeah. But we're now going into more 3.0 gaming. So this is something that we could pick up as a game here at Grape, because I could definitely see our organisers wanting to line up races. And if you talk to someone like Ava, they may be able to help you out then as well with the setting up a betting pool as well.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I'll write that down. Yeah, look, so that's what I love about games is playing with friends and talking shit. Mm-hmm. Like that's I just want to hop on and talk shit. And usually if you can throw a bit of a bet in there, that's even more fun, but it's not super necessary, but I love that.
There's something you were saying before there, Adam, about hopping on an OG. I think as an Aussie, I've hopped on a few OGs in my lifetime.
Have you now?
You're going to touch that one?
Story time.
All right, not enough rums to get into those stories right now, but yeah.
Yeah, look, I am super excited for it. Admittedly, again, I talk really candidly about this stuff. It's you building every day, teamwork and really hard. And I was listening to our friends at Kaiju before. There's a real mismatch in expectations and it's like, it's the whole, can the devs do something? It's like, for fuck's sake, if you only knew. But for the most part, that's a very small amount of our community. For the most part, our community is amazing. Really, even when we dropped the price, it was like the people who were upset were still really upset because they were like, this is worth more. That tended to be don't drop it. This is worth more. It's like, well, we're trying to move it forward so we can build more, so it is worth more. And but that was the general consensus. Not fuck you guys. It was like, no, this is worth more. It's worth more. And we agree. It's still.
I think the price drop was good. I like how you guys didn't rush out to try and appease people. Like, fucking, you've got to do your research on these projects, and I'd rather see them minting out and getting more bums in seats than failing to mint. So you're doing a DAO. You're not hiring DAO applications and stuff. That's all happening right now, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Yeah. The DAO, we want, there's 7.5% of the primary take that goes into the DAO. We wanted to have a funded DAO. We wanted it to have a bucket of funds to utilize in the future when there's more funds. I would expect that incentivizes the people who are board, like directors, and then eventually moving into a more one NFT, one vote type of system where it is more completely democratic. I think a stepped out phase though, where you start with a council and then move towards that's the advice I've got from some really great founders of projects that have minted out and done really well. And also, like a lot of people, you don't get a ton of engagement even in the best DAOs, even in Monkey DAO in terms of votes. So that's the process there. We actually really, really want those guys they manage that budget. That's their budget. It's not Studio Gyris's budget. The hope is that they do that in support of the project and don't degen with it. They might want to, go halvesies in some shit with Studio Gyris. There's some negotiations there. So it's still really human and not super automated in these early phases. And actually, I think that's what the process will be going forward. That it's actually meant to be a partnership between Studio Gyris, the company, and the community, and the DAO being the voice of the community, which is also funded.
So with the 7.5% going to the DAO and the DAO board being hired through applications, you fill in a form. I think that's still got a few days left. I'd have to check dates, but it might be the 14th of April. Is that right?
I expect to see your application in there.
I can't do. I know how much work's involved in a DAO. Yeah. So I'm in the Grape DAO and I'm very heavy, and I don't want to. I'd love to. I've tried to get one of my mates to do it. He's our subject matter expert for Gyris, because all of us have NFTs for Gyris. So I've got a group of 6 to 8 of us, and as Aussies, we've been gamers since 10 years old. Me since the Atari, but we've all gamed through our childhood and teen years. We used to hire Super Nintendos together. So we started we started our own DAO way back in the 90s. I'll just put this out there. We funded our money together and hired machines together. With that DAO resource, what then? Because I know you've already put funds in the DAO. You did an announcement, and it wasn't a small fund. It was quite a bit of Solana.
Mate, what we said we'd do, we've done. So it's periodically we get to a certain mark, and then I send the 7.5%. It was never going to be after we minted. I stuck true to what we said. So periodically we're putting the funds in there. So 7.5% of the take has been going into the treasury. 7.5% has been going to Equal Playing Field, our charity partner.
Yep.
We've done that along the way. It's there. They're in separate wallets, and it's theirs. It's not ours.
So the intention, I'm just trying to go through it, is for the DAO to potentially make more funds, potentially do partnerships with other games that could benefit Gyris, or what, buy Solana and stake it in Frankium, for example.
They can do whatever they think is in the best interest of the project going forward. So they could do it. They could do a number of things. They could even purchase some mints to be utilized for whatever they want. They could they could invest. I'm hoping it's something strategic and related to the project. That's the intention for it. There's not a ton of money now to incentivize the directors. The sort of board, but I'll find ways to do that.
You can always do skins or little things for huts and stuff like this. There's things in games and this, everybody should be thinking, if you're passionate for a game, and this could be one potential game that you want to have a bit of fun with, is that not everything needs to be about making money. We're in game changing, we're in a society. First and foremost, blockchain gaming is a way to own and be a part of it and help push DAOs into good situations. Right there, I've given you a few examples of things that I would look at as a DAO member, is going, holy shit, do we go and buy 2 remnants and keep those in the DAO, activate those, and try to then link up and get partnerships with remnants? Do we instead link up with a metaverse? Or that's stuff that I would look at and push and would think logical
for sure.
options. And
I bought before this I bought like a Savannah DAO egg and gifted it to the DAO. So that was one way to do that. But they've got the funds there to do some pretty special stuff.
How are you managing that wallet then? Is that on Realms? Is it squads?
No, so right now, I've got access to that wallet. That's where it is now, and we'll move into. We have to work out that process. I'm speaking out of school because Diggy's our kind of comms and DAO manager. He would have more to say about that. But yeah, the intention is to take it out of my hands. But it's well and truly, the decision making is well and truly out of my hands as to how that gets spent at the moment, and we'll transition into something that's I guess more on chain.
Yeah, and that would be your ways of looking at it. Like, I've got to take Solana Gaming, the wallet, because I control that myself, centralized control, and I've got assets for games that need to go into squads. So our gaming council can then manage and get those assets, and then it also takes pressure off you bottlenecking it and you being busy and not being able to make a change. If the DAO then wants to make an adjustment, then they don't have to go through you. Yeah, I like it, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, look, you touched on some stuff before though, and what we really can't wait for is as these maps begin to get released and people start to truly understand the possibilities in Gyris in terms of building a world for yourself. You showed the plot. You were talking about the plot before. So every Genesis mint gets this little kind of 5 by 5 meter. It's really like a campsite, but you'll have somewhat of a quarantine space around you that's larger that you can kind of grow into, so you won't get boxed in, and you'll be able to use Gyris to kind of utilize more land. But when you first get your little 5 by 5 meter, it is just enough for a hut. It's only enough to sustain one bura. You've got a little fire to cook on. You've got a little bit of crops that you can grow. Your og can sleep in the corner, and you've got a little shelter. Well, as you gain experience, you have access to, I guess it's like getting access to plans. You're level 2, and all of a sudden you can make a better hut. So, the hut gets better, your land gets more productive, but then there's only so much you can do in that little 5 by 5 meter. It's tiny. So let's just say you've got 4 NFTs. Well, you combine those plots together, and all of a sudden you have a family plot. So the family plot on one of the 5 by 5s, you can have a bigger hut, and all of a sudden that sleeps 4, but you've got 3 full plots then to. Maybe you've got an animal enclosure. Maybe you've got your crops in one corner. You've got a bigger area to cook in because you need to cook faster and you need to cook more. But when these ogs come out, you might notice that one's got a big hitter and one's got one missing. So you can follow the breadcrumbs there. The ogs will in the future, like, you'll be able to breed them. So you need a place to keep your ogs, and then the way that the land works is, and this is, we talked about this a while back, but I think this is really special. When you can make massive estates with single wallets, huge estates. Then the chiefs and the master chiefs, if you manage to draw them, they have like prime real estate estates, so they get like sort of 10 and 20 times the size of what you would get on a normal plot. But then you have this really cool concept of these multi-wallet villages and strongholds. And the villages and strongholds are multiple people coming together and creating a village. You have to have multiple wallets to access these areas. The more wallets you have, the higher up the sort of ranking or choice that you have, to make first selection in Gyris. So if the most wallets combined together prior to map release is, let's say, 100, and the next one is 80, the grouping with 100 wallets together will get their first choice of the available locations in Gyris, and those will be little village locations where you'll be able to kind of select your plots in there. They'll have additional communal land, so the community land is not owned by any one of those individual wallet holders, but it's the value of it is shared, just like in in our own communities. So when you have public parks and like really cool shit, you'll have these central locations where you can have a cooperative that grows crops. You can build a shrine. The bigger the shrine, the more favored to the gods. The better the weather will be for the growing of crops, or the favor of the gods in other ways. So this kind of collaborative creativity that we've spoken about along the way really starts to unveil itself. And then multiple villages, when you continue to grow that, and multiple villages come together to create a stronghold. And the strongholds feature quite a bit, especially the one at DYOR in the film. These have huge DYOR trees in the middle. You've got rivers running through them. You've got your old tracks. You've got all sorts of stuff. So you can continuously build up, both you as an individual. As you level up, you have access to better builds, and as your community levels up, you have access to better communal NFTs that you can build, and that will favor everyone. So there's this beautiful kind of like collaboration and competition that we hope to see long term, whereas like your village, you want it to be better than the other village. I mean, obviously, if you're going to sell your land, you want to sell your plot, it's going to be worth more if you're in a sweet location that has the most fucking badass shrine that gives you like way like better rainfall, better crop yields, this type of stuff. So
we are touching on closing on our half hour.
Right,
so what you're talking about now, which is good, I like what you're actually going into now, is what about DAOs and guilds then? Have we seen any interest from DAOs and guilds? You had a couple of big hitters from Solana come in and pick up a little bit of the supply. There's no point mentioning names, but you did have a couple of big influencers coming in, and that was good. But what about actual DAOs? That are there any communities that have said, righto, like let's get 5 or 10, and they've chatted to you on the side, like anything like that, to build those bigger establishments?
Yeah, look, this is something we've spoken about internally, that this will be a marketing push as the builds develop. So we've only just started to show off those huts.
Yep.
And they're the basic ones. So when you're looking at that in a market which is like full of like, huge builds, here's a penthouse or whatever that you can buy here, there, and everywhere. It's people can't yet fully conceptualize it, but
the land normally in a game is one of the forefronts of the game, isn't it? Like you're saying, this is a chance for you to build and actually build large land plots of groups together to help defend each other. I did have a question here from Savage, and I know Savage has minted one at least. With you planning multiple mints for different tribes, wouldn't it have been better to offer the first mint people all of the bonuses of the following mints to it, rather than less to entice people now? I don't really understand how that's worded, Savage. Can you maybe have a crack at that? Ask him. You'll be here on channel. You'll be able to ask a question yourself. Do you want to ask that live? Putting him on the spot now. He'll be listening at home. He's in WA, so it's a good time of day for him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been a better idea to... Oh, no, there he is. 1 second. I'm guessing it's going to come down towards the getting that first mint now. So, I mean, 1,600 out of 2,700 was the number I saw thereabouts. So that is, what's that, 2/3 of the way through, roughly?
And look, we just, talking about whales, like, again, we don't know who these people are, but someone came and minted 42, within the last week. So, like, big Sol Big Brain, we've talked about him. Big players have come in after a slow mint and said, this is fucking awesome. And they've minted a shitload. So that boosts us.
Yeah.
As for what Savage was talking about, I don't know exactly, but I do say this a lot. Like when we say, wouldn't it have been better? The hindsight's one of those things. Who knows what would have been better? A lot of things could have been better. We have no idea. What we're trying to do is deliver something fucking amazing, and we continue to work really tirelessly to do that. And yeah, like one thing we're not great at, and we even say this in our pitch deck that I sent to you, Barndog, is that like the one big area is we haven't been great marketers, and we don't have that within our team, and that's something we're searching for right now. We're not great enough at showing off the awesome shit that we do and the vision that we have. Every time I hop on and I have a chat, people are minting. It's great, but we need to find a way to tap into the masses, and more eyes for us always means more mints. People, if you mint on a slow mint, it's because you're doing your research and you're like, fucking wow. Like that's the honest truth, because who else is minting? Degens will mint anything that they think that they can flip. If you take all the degen flippers out of the potential, you realize you've got only conscious investors that are coming in and taking a look. So that is really positive for us. We continue to mint every day. I will continue to listen. We will continue to listen and try and find ways to incentivize people to come on in. But really, what we're trying to focus on is we're going to continue to build. We're going to start to. You just touched on it there. So we started releasing the little huts, but so there's little tree houses being made and all sorts of cool shit as well. So as they get built and we can kind of mock up something that looks more like a village, then we can start to market those directly to say, like, do you guys fucking realize what's coming? Not just words. This is what you're going to be able to see in Gyris. And, we would love to see that DAOs having their own village where they're wandering around Gyris, because that's fucking badass. You can start building up your. Jeff, he's a genius. He's one of our core artists. He was like, what if you could build up, but then have bridges to your friends' houses? And I was like, right.
The tree, you build in the trees, and then you have the ladders going between villages and stuff like that.
Yeah, shit like that. And I was like, fuck, it's cool, man. If we can work that out without taking the airspace of someone below, because you can't then stop them from, otherwise you just get this weird Connect 4 thing where you're like, fuck you, I'm building a bridge across you to my mate's house, and then you can't build up. And although that'd be kind of funny. So look, there's heaps of creativity and fun happening. Someone was talking about, Savage was talking about the other tribes. I think he means the other.
Because there'll be 3 more genuses, right? So four mints all up.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what he meant, but all I know is that what we have now is amazing, and what will come after is not necessarily going to be the same. So, for example, if the advice we get from investors or the DAO is that when we release the Mara, hey, why don't we release the Mara without all the crazy shit? Let's just release the Mara as a PFP that has maybe a 3D the 3D game ready asset, but we keep instead of it having a Genesis Animalia companion and land attached to it, we launch it like that, and then we do the separate. We'll have those conversations if people think that that's the better way to do it. I think that's potentially what Savage is talking about.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was on about.
Yeah.
So.
Here he is. Hey, man.
Hey, mate. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. Here to field your
pretty
question.
much you hit the nail on the head with that, mate. That's what I was more going along the lines of, that your initial guys that are sort of backing you and your core guys should get more benefits. And then as you do your other mints later down the track, you get less. So like you said, don't get land, but you get your 3D avatar and that.
Yeah.
You've got to find that balance where you're not outweighing the new people too much for coming into the game at the same time. You need more people, but we are in overtime here, so we're going to have to nail it.
Thanks,
give us a quick wrap up. What's happening in the next month obviously we keep minting, but you're saying Q2 potentially the mini game, the og racing, punching our mates, racing down the racetrack.
Yeah.
I like it, dude. To say potentially this quarter, that is exciting.
That's what we're pushing for, man. You never know with, I mean, you mentioned we've had artists off sick, we've had family issues, like, family in hospital, all that sort of stuff. But I mean, it's all chugging along. I hope you see vision of a og on a Bora in the next week. Hopefully you see a Bora on an og in the next week. And I'm hopeful that at least I'm sampling some really basic mechanics, moving that around. And so, yeah, we'll share all that along the way, and then
hit us up, dude. We would happily come and come and game test.
Yeah.
That's something I want to do more of at 3.0 game testing and involving Grape in it for sure. But we better nail it off, man.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it as always. Thank you, and we'll keep in touch.
Thanks, man.
Show non-video contestants. So that was Adam from Gyris, and that's the second time he's been here. People can quite easily go and check Gyris on Twitter. I've linked on both Discord and YouTube the links for those. So they started minting at 2.5. They're about 2/3 the way through the mint now. It's 1.75 Solana. Solana's dumped down in value. So you're talking at $170 to get into the game. It's a slow mint. It's a slow building project, but do I think it's worthwhile? I minted 5 for putting a number out there. There was no need to do it with Adam while he was on stage, but I minted 5. I've got mates that have all minted it. We'll put in a team. Grape will look like putting a team in as well. So it's cool. Not financial advice. Do your own research, all those kinds of things. But I put the money in, and I'm not stomping my feet because it's a slow mint and they're reducing the price. I'm very keen to see the updates, and hearing that we're going to have some kind of racing this month, or potentially this quarter, I should say, is pretty exciting stuff. But we now have our third guest in Metaforge Matt. And
hello.
Good morning, Metaforge. Actually, it's your evening, I should say.
Yeah. It is my evening. Yeah, let me flip on my camera here real quick.
Now, for people coming along, I'll get some links out quickly. Oh, look at this. What do we got here? This is the you put this out today, right?
I gotta cut on my camera. There we go. Okay. I have a DSLR, so I actually have to flip the switch on it because it just kind of cuts itself off after a while. But yeah, how are you doing, Barn Dog?
I'm doing good, dude. For a little bit of reference to this, we'll get some links out for Metaforge very shortly. But he stood me up, ladies and gentlemen. Matt actually stood me up for the first time he was coming to stage. But it was a little bit.
I was in Miami, and I was there for the Hacker House, and we had a late night, and you had me on early in the morning, and the Miami, it just hit me a little too hard. So
that's
I got a little messed up with my time, but I was there for the Hacker House, and it was a fantastic time. I was there for the New York one as well, but the Miami one was amazing. The venue was beautiful, it was sunny and nice outside the whole time, and it was just networking with all the awesome builders on Solana. So yeah, it was fantastic, man. I think we got a lot done in terms of networking, and I learned a lot speaking with some of my newfound friends that I met at the Hacker Houses. So Solana is a great ecosystem, and I know if I went to one of the Ethereum conferences, it would not have been the same vibe and meeting the same quality of people I did at the Hacker House. But yeah, I'm back home now, thankfully, so I can get back to the real work.
So where is home for you, Matt? Where is what's country home?
Yeah, it's north. I live in North Carolina, in America. If you don't know, and yeah, it's it's not as flashy as California or Miami or New York, but it's a good state.
I kept thinking because I met you through Aboral from .shade that you were also in Europe, so that's where the mistake came in.
No,
I wouldn't have put you on such a horrible time, but you being in America.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Me and him we're in a small DAO of our friends, so I kind of met through all of them back when we first started our project 5-ish months ago. We kind of all started meeting up, and we started a little DAO that we don't really do too much in, but we hang out and we drop alpha in there and just chat about our projects and what's been going on. But yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about Metaforge. So Metaforge is an MMORPG metaverse built on top of Minecraft that we've been building and planning for the last several months. It's been about 5 months since the inception, and our mint was in February. So it's been about a month and a half since our mint. I think when we started our mint, we had around 60 members, something like that, and now we have about 20. Including I think 5 developers and 3 artists and a few builders, a few other pretty big team. It's hard for me to honestly. I'm starting to lose track of everything that's going on. Not really, but yeah, it's been a big growth process for us since the mint. So we've been working on our launcher. So we've been really just trying to streamline Minecraft so that we can really bring in a lot of Web 2 gamers and Minecraft gamers into the Web 3 space, and really kind of bring Minecraft into the Web 3 space as well overall. So we've been doing a lot of stuff. We're developing a new website. Our old one I actually did myself back in the day for like 5 months ago. But we need a new one a little bit more gamey, one a little bit more updated with all the info. And we're building a launcher, we're building our website, we're building the game, custom Minecraft client. It's a lot of work from our team has been going into it, and they've been super passionate, building day in and day out, pretty much to the point now where I don't have to give them too much direction, which is awesome. I mean, it's a lot of team members, so I still have to have almost daily meetings with everybody, but to make sure everyone's on track and doing their thing. But yeah, in those 5 months, I mean, a lot of it was really spent really clarifying our vision. Oh, try and put the www in front of the Metaforge. I don't know where you found that link, but let me know so I can fix it.
That's on your Twitter.
It was on my Twitter. I updated that. I don't know why. Twitter likes to get rid of the www for some reason. And then
No, that was today. Yeah, I got the link today.
Yeah, that's fine. It should be good though, but I'll double check it. Anyway,
I just want to. I want to come back to putting in the Minecraft into it. So, Minecraft. Yeah. I'm an old dude, right? 42 years old. I just turned 42 in March. So I haven't played Minecraft, but of course all the kids have. So you're looking at a game and bringing Minecraft, which has, I would imagine, a much lower age player base. How is the challenge of that going with crypto and say that again?
I said site is up. I'm looking at your screen real quick. Yeah, that should work. Try hit enter on that. It's not loading. It loaded for me. I don't know. Very odd. You got that Australian internet.
It is. I was just going to say Telstra, fuck Telstra, but yeah, that's what it'll be. Just as slow.
I just
plus
pulled
I've
it
got
up.
multiple
It could be because
cameras
I have
going.
it. Yeah. No, it's all good. If it is messed up, I'll get it fixed. Don't worry. But it's running for me fine. But anyway, yeah, we built it on Minecraft for a kind of a multitude of reasons, really. So one of the main reasons was we knew how the NFT space currently is moving, especially with projects that take really long, have really long development times, right? Like games, for example, probably the most prime subject for that. Most games are multi-year. There you go, it's working. Most games are multi-year projects, right? 2, 4, 5 years it takes to make a fully fledged game. And we wanted to do something that would help appease the kind of speed at which blockchain moves. We also just love Minecraft as another thing. And then, oh man, there's so many reasons to it. I think one of the other main reasons was because we wanted to bring Web 2 gamers into Web 3 in a more streamlined way where it won't be some crazy new thing for them.
Yeah.
It won't be so different from what they're used to. Right. So, and there's still a lot of things even with the current way wallets work and things like that we have to overcome, right? If we really want to accomplish that. But with our new website, we're really looking towards making it super easy for new people into the Web3 space or into the Solana space to understand what we're doing, as well as just kind of streamline everything and help educate those people, right? That, NFTs aren't a scam and that they're actually a super beneficial thing, especially for gaming. It's probably one of the most, probably the area where NFTs is one of the most beneficial currently, because of just the traditional structure of Web 2 games. They're honestly, most games are primed for, and like most Web 2 games are primed for NFTs. So it doesn't really make sense to me why there's it does make sense, but the big misconception with gamers regarding NFTs is a problem that we want to help try and face, especially in the Solana ecosystem, because it makes so much sense being able to own your assets, being able to sell your assets when you need the liquidity, and basically instead of just buying, a $60 game that you're stuck in your Steam game list, right? And you can't ever really do anything with if you need to get rid of it, or if you need to sell it or anything like that, as well as you get to invest into the company itself, right? So imagine if you bought, I'm trying to think of a really good example of an old game. Let's use Minecraft. If you bought Minecraft 10 years ago, and instead of you just having the rights to play the game, which you're not even technically buying the game, you just have the rights to play it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of that, you're actually investing into Mojang and investing into Minecraft. Imagine what that copy of your game would be worth 10 years later at this time. I mean, it would be worth thousands and thousands of dollars, especially after a big juicy Microsoft acquisition, right? But it's just, so the whole kind of misconception with gamers, you really just want to help alleviate some of that for them. I mean, we're not going to be able to do it completely, but helping bridge that gap, I think, is going to be huge for Solana as a whole, and huge for Metaforge. So that's one of our big goals. I think
one of the big problems is a lot of these traditional gamers just aren't going to onboard games that are such high ceilings of entry, and it's hard. Like I've got a very liberal and open view. My risk factor in gaming's changed a lot in the last 12 months, 8 months since I started Solana gaming. Like $1,000 doesn't seem like that much for a risk for me now, compared to, but look at, I don't want to call out another game, but look at an Aurora, and to get into Aurora, you're looking at 35 Solana. Who's going to spend $3,500? A traditional gamer isn't going to come into the space. They're going to look at that and they're just going to go, "I'm not fucking interested." So
I have a perfect point to not to counter that, but to kind of complement what you're talking about. So we kind of split our thinking a little bit with how we wanted to kind of create a player base for Metaforge, right? We think of the people who hold our main NFT, our ghost guys. We think of those guys as investors, not players of the game. Now, if they do play the game, awesome. We would love them to 110%, right? But at the end of the day, those guys are there to invest, and they're there to hopefully get a return on investment and to see, price go up, essentially. And they're also, most of them are still interested in Minecraft. Not all of them, though. We do have some whales that bought, 40 of them. Those guys probably aren't going to play Minecraft. I'm just going to throw it out there. It's probably not going to happen. Maybe they'll open it once. We'll see. But these guys are investors at the end of the day, right? And I think there is kind of this current gap with a lot of the Web3 blockchain games where they don't really separate the investors from the players. And at the current, and especially if you want real scalability as well, I think that's when that really comes into an issue. Now, there's also the thing of that a lot of these games are so early that they don't really need to be at that stage yet. And we aren't at that stage yet either. So I completely understand why they're focusing a lot on the Web3 side of it rather than the Web2 side of it, because the Web2 side is very difficult to kind of bring into a blockchain game. Very, very difficult. But we're separating it in a few ways. So basically, we have our initial mint there, the ghost guys, which is super awesome, cute little ghost dudes. And
that was a first day sellout. Yeah, I think you sold out within 12 hours or something. It was probably lower, but.
I think we sold out within 2 hours. So our whitelist was 1 hour, and then I think we sold out almost within like 5 minutes of it hitting public.
So,
which was amazing considering our
what were your
first
numbers?
mint in
What were the numbers for the ghost guys?
The price and supply.
Yeah,
price was 1 SOL. Supply was 2. We had 2 mints actually. So that one was 1,677, which is an odd number. And the reason that's an odd number is because our first mint was back in December, or the mint that you're talking about sold out was in February, but our first mint was back in December. And, we were still pretty early into the game of NFTs, and we still had a lot to learn, and we had to we minted, and it didn't go super well. Like we had a small community going, and we minted about 350 ghost guys. And instead of really dropping the price, we actually raised the price, because at the time Sol was 200, and then at second mint it was 100. So we raised the price to equal out to the same USD price. But yeah, we, instead of giving up or really getting discouraged, we looked at that as a learning opportunity. We looked at that as a way to pivot and a way to take extra time and spend more, figuring out exactly what we wanted to do, creating our white paper, and just, really just trying to build up our vision for what we wanted to make. And then obviously, second time around, it went really well. So there's a ton of stuff going on with Metaforge. I'll go into a little bit more about the actual what we want to build with the game and some of the governance models and staking tokens, all that fun stuff. Basically, what we're trying to build is an MMORPG that is pretty interoperable. I'm not using that word correctly.
Interoperable.
That we want to interoperable, but I used it incorrectly. That we want to onboard a ton of PFP projects and other projects from the Solana ecosystem into Metaforge. So we're going to make it super easy for those guys to get in. Basically, with our launcher that we've made, we can pretty much all we need is like a hash list from them. And we can whitelist them and get them into the game, and then they'll actually have separate tags for each collection. So, for example, our ghost guys, if you're in the game, you'll have a ghost guy tag next to your name so that people can identify what NFT you entered with. And if you have, for example, let's say Grape, you'd have a Grape tag. That way we can kind of, you can visually see that people are from different kind of their own ecosystems, their own niches, and they can get in. But yeah, so we're building this MMORPG. Now, obviously, an MMORPG takes a lot of time to build, and we wanted to put out something in a reasonable amount of time. So we're building things kind of mediary while we build up the RPG and get all the mechanics set in stone, work with our blockchain dev, work with our advisors to make sure everything works not only off-chain, but it makes sense on-chain and being worked in the smart contracts, and everything's really thought out. So right now what we're building is our beta, and we finished up probably 90 to 95% of everything we need to do with the beta. All the individual components are basically done. A little bit of bug testing, a little bit of, prettying up and polishing. But yeah, most of the stuff with the beta is done. Our launcher is also completely finished with the current 1.0 build for it. So yeah, at this point, pretty much we're just trying to get everything kind of connected up with the beta, and get everything set up with the launcher, and we'll be good to go here within the next few weeks tops.
So as an MMORPG, it's still going to be based around being a game, that Web 2.0 game that we're bringing in, Minecraft. It's all going to be within Minecraft, but for example, Grape players joined in, they'd get the Grape tag, and they would still be building out a world in Minecraft.
Yeah, so we're trying to take it in a very, very different direction from standard Minecraft, right? And the thing is that maybe a lot of people that don't play Minecraft don't really know, which is perfectly understandable, but with Minecraft, there are a ton of different Minecraft servers. Not all of them are just building, breaking blocks, and PvPing with creepers and things like that. A lot of the servers involve completely different things. There are servers that are based on factions. There are servers that are based on entirely mini games. There are servers that are MMORPGs. There are servers that do this and that and this and that. Most of them, besides the SMP servers, which are just basically multiplayer survival Minecraft servers, basically the base experience but with other players. Many of them focus on kind of creating their own niche within Minecraft because the player base is so big, right? You kind of want to carve your niche out. So for us, right, we're not trying to just give you Minecraft and then give you a token. Right. We don't want to do that. We want to create a wholly unique experience that's to our game and give you something that you're not going to be able to get in even another Minecraft server that if you take out the on-chain stuff, even if you take that out of our game, we still want it to be a unique experience, right? So with kind of what we're building, we've already created an entire hub world, which is basically a huge map that is going to be where your starting point when you enter the game. So you'll spawn in, you'll be in this huge map. Around there, there'll be a bunch of different landmarks around the map, different shops and things like that, and different landmarks from other NFT projects as well that we'll be building soon once we start announcing some partnerships. And with that, you'll be able to go to our arcade, which will have its own set of mini games in there. The casino, which will have right now we have slots and roulette being built. You'll be able to do. We're going to have an event center, which is basically going to be.
Are you looking for other projects? So, for example, you say casino. Are you guys building those slots out, or are you looking for someone that might be building already have a casino option?
Yeah, so I've talked with a few teams about that. I talked with DJ and CoinFlip about it, and it was an interesting talk. It was a while back, so not too much came of it at the time. But we have a very, very, very talented team of developers. Especially our primary developer, who's soon to be our CTO. She is amazing at her job, and I'm very, very confident that anything we build on chain, she'll be able to do. And we shouldn't have any security risks. So, but obviously we're going to get code audited as well, and things like that are very important, especially with building something as complex as an on-chain game. You definitely need to get the code audited. But yeah, so we're doing a lot of the stuff in-house, and we're doing it in-house for a pretty good reason that I cannot disclose on this day. But we're doing it in-house for a very good reason. But not only that, with the mini games, the casino, all that's cool. We're also creating an event center where every few weeks we're going to be holding custom events that we'll set up with the community. It'll be webhooked into Discord, all of these announcements in game. So when a certain event happens, when payouts with our craft token are sent, different things like that, it'll be announced not only in the game, in a banner to players, but also in the Discord for players to be able, who aren't online, to be able to know to get online. And then with those things, yeah, we're going to be bringing in a lot of, we're going to be creating a lot of partnerships with other, primarily like PFP, NFT projects, and bringing their communities in to help provide them extra utility for their projects as well, and just give them something fun to do. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, a lot of the stuff we're doing right now with the beta is nearly finished up, which is awesome. Our team has been working really hard for the last about month and a half on all of that, and we're super excited to get it out. And soon after the beta, we're going to be releasing our staking and play and earn as well. So right now, the beta is pretty much just going to be to show off everything that we've built, and yeah, pretty much show off everything we've built, let people play in some game modes, let them gamble. All of it's going to be off chain at the start of the beta, but during the beta, we'll be implementing the play and earn. We'll be making the casino on chain, and then we'll be adding in our land as well. So we're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff during kind of that period that will hopefully, bring some of the more Solana type guys a little bit more excitement, right? Because I know they love their tokens, and they love their staking, and they love their play and earn.
So the land you just touched on there is your background picture has a setting of 5 in the air lands. That's something.
Yeah, this is something other way. Sorry, I was looking at your camera. This is something one of our artists whipped up. It's very cool. It's kind of showing some of the different things that you're able to do in Metaforge. So I'll try and point them out a little bit. So even though it's very small for me at the moment. So this one over here is kind of illustrating some of the building. This one down here is showing the portals, which kind of illustrates the partnerships with other projects. This one back here, oh man, it's so small. I can't quite remember what it is. I think it might be, that one's the bank. I think this one's supposed to be our arcade. Yes, that is our arcade.
I have seen a picture somewhere. It might have been in Discord. You guys actually had like a big city in one of these up in the sky kind of. So it was it was a town within up in the sky, very similar to what Project Alune have done with the land being up the top there.
Yes, so that was from our alpha server. So in the previous months, because we were around for around 3 or 4 months before we actually minted, we were running an alpha server that on the day of our mint, that we kind of set up all in-house. We did that with our very small team at the time, basically completely bootstrapped for free. Essentially, we just put in the elbow grease ourselves. And on the day of our mint, what we did was we actually had a big event. I forget what we titled it, but we destroyed the entire alpha server. We basically let everyone come in. We gave them explosives, and we let them just blow it to smithereens, destroy every building, and it was just basically a giant crater in the ground at that point, which was really really fun, and we recorded it as well. But yeah, and
I can see that you genuinely love Minecraft, like seeing.
Yeah, I did. It's some of it has to do with Minecraft. The other part of it is just having the community there and getting them together, and it not being in a Discord call, it being in a game where you can see everyone running around doing their thing, and especially when you all have a common goal, like destroying the entire city. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. And our Discord mod actually crashed the server twice during that because he spawned in like a 5,000 by 5,000 giant square of TNT, and then he lit it, and it just crashed the server because that's a lot of TNT. It was like thousands of blocks at once, which doesn't normally happen, and so it doesn't normally, like, I don't think we ever had a server crash until we did that. But it was really funny because we were destroying it all anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, so that was our alpha server. We built an entirely new map for our beta, and that's going forward into like the full release, which obviously we expanded upon after the beta and all that fun stuff. But
so is that due for Q2 then? Is that you saying it's going to be out soon, the beta?
Yeah, our beta should be out within the next 2 weeks. It's basically all finished up. We have 3 artists. They've been doing a ton of stuff. So what we built is we really wanted to build a lot of. It's a metaverse, right? It's an MMORPG, but it's also a metaverse. So we started out building the beta by implementing a lot of the things we would really want in a metaverse that Minecraft doesn't currently have. So you'd be surprised if you don't play the game comparatively to modern gaming, how many things that just aren't in it. Now, it's a really good base to start off of, but it's missing so many things. Like, for example, we built to go touch on the social aspects, we built an entire profile system and front system. So essentially, you can view your own profile, and you can go up to any player you see in the game, and you can view theirs. So we did that completely from scratch. Basically, how it functions is, and we have some art up of this as well in our Discord, which might be hard to find because we've been kind of throwing out different little sneak peeks and updates here and there all over the place while we build, and we've been showing it off a little bit more in videos and whatnot. But basically, how the profile system works is you go up to any player that you find in the world, you right-click them, it'll pop up a little GUI right in the middle of your screen. You'll be able to add them as a friend, party with them if you want to go into the RPG, or if you just want to do a mini game together. You'll be able to trade with them, and you'll be able to go to their land. So, and then you also be able to see their playtime, and then my camera did a little restart. You also be able to see their playtime, and you will eventually soon, hopefully, be able to see their NFTs that they have in the wallet that's connected, that they connect to the game with, in the game. So that part's a little bit more difficult because Minecraft's a bit fuckety with like displaying images, especially in like a menu. It's a little bit weird. But I think we can figure out a way to do that.
One of your open trailers you've got, I think that might be from before your sale in February, you've got several of the Minecraft players standing in a room watching TV, it looked like.
I think in that video, they were actually looking at an NFT on the wall.
Oh, okay. Because it was glowing. It looked like it might have been lit up like it was a TV.
Yeah. So I think that image was backlit, which is why it was glowing. So in a bright environment, you wouldn't really see it glow, but in the dark, that way it's not just like a pitch black image. It actually has some glow to it. I actually need to adjust that a little bit because it is a bit too bright.
So we are coming up close to the half hour here, Matt.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten started, man.
This is the thing, and I can definitely hear that you can keep on going, and it's not. It's funny, half an hour is not enough time to be able to talk to games. But the idea is we want games to come back every month, every 4 to 8 weeks, and catch up with us and talk. It's a space where crypto gaming has been difficult because of last year's events with the whole mint flips and all of that. But now we're starting to see the games that are building out. So you guys have been around since December with your first mint. The beta, that's probably going to be your biggest thing happening in the next month. Yeah, that must be pretty exciting then to finally get some hard work in that and release that out.
Yes, our community's been dying for it. We want to give it to them so bad. It's just we want it to be polished. We want it to be quality. I said this to our community before, but trust us, if we wanted to just put out a Minecraft server for you guys, we can do that. We can whip that up in a day. We want to make something really high quality. We wanted to build in the profile system. We wanted to build the launcher, which is pretty complex considering there's no desktop framework for any wallets. So doing a wallet connection through it adds like an extra layer of complexity. And yeah, and we also built these things to scale as well, like with our wallet connection and whitelisting players in the game. We built that to scale so that we can add, hundreds of other projects into it and get them into the game as well. But yeah, I know we're running up close on the time.
So
I have so much more we could talk about, but
with your
we'll end it
NFTs at the
short.
start, then you've got 350 thereabouts for the little ghost ones to start off with. Then Ghost Guys was 1677. That's just over 2,000 NFTs. So Ghost Guys, does that mean there's going to be Ghost Girls?
There will not be Ghost Girls. So I'll talk a little bit about this. This is actually really important. So there's actually 2,000 in total Ghost Guys. Technically 2,010 if you include the 1-on-1s.
Yep.
And then there's 350 Ghost Boys. Now, yeah, let's get into this. This is fun. Okay, so with the Ghost Boys essentially act as a pairing token with the Ghost Guys. So they do not inherently provide any value in and of themselves. They provide the most value by pairing them with the Ghost Guy. So when we release our staking and in-game, which obviously you need a ghost, well, not obviously, but you need a Ghost Guy to get in-game. So having, like I said, it's a pairing token essentially. With the staking, basically what you're going to be able to do is pair 5 Ghost Guys up with 1 Ghost Boy, since they about work 5 to 1 with the supply, right?
Yeah.
That way, almost anyone, if they, in like an ideal scenario, would be able to have 1 Ghost Boy paid with their 5 Ghost Guys, would actually get a staking boost. As well as that, just which is probably the main utility for them at the current time, but as well, they'll also be used as a battle pet in game. And we did that for a few reasons. One, we just wanted to add a fun way people to boost their staking if they wanted to, and then 2, it gives them like a super exclusive way to have a special battle pet in game. We're gonna be making other battle pets as well, but you won't have the Ghost Boy one if you don't have the Ghost Boy, so it's a little bit more special.
And the prices aren't nasty as well, so people can actually look at the marketplace.
Yeah, the Ghost Boys minted for actually 0.15.
Yeah.
And then they actually also gave a 0.15 discount on a Ghost Guy on the first wave in December. So basically, if you minted both, you got the Ghost Boy for free at the time.
And that's still cool. At least people that minted back then are still making something, because they're obviously making a markup on there. But for people looking to get into the project, because it's not really, you're not smashing. You don't hear. We don't hear much about Metaforge, do we? It's not like a huge marketing. You don't go out there to smash out marketing. The players that are joining your community must be happy with what you're doing.
Yeah, our community's been pretty happy with everything that we're doing. Sometimes, it's a game. Some people get a bit impatient, but I try to do my best with community management and just keeping everyone happy and keeping them updated. I try to provide like pretty extensive announcements in our Discord. They're usually like 5 to 10 paragraphs long of content. So I try to keep them as happy as possible. But right now, I mean, we had a big marketing push back when we minted.
And back in February, you did a lot of spaces around that time, didn't you?
Yeah, and I did. Yeah, we spaces almost every day. And then we ran our own space twice a week, which now we pushed back to once a week because we needed to build the game, and they take a lot of time to set up, especially because we bring multiple guests on each time. We should bring 2 to 4 guests on for each space, so it takes a while to set up. But our community's been really happy with everything that we're doing. And we just want to put out a game for them.
You got any questions for me?
Yeah, it's been going really well. But
do you have any questions? I'm just looking at the back of the room here because the young fella's sitting on the side computer, and I'm seeing whether he's got any questions for me. Yeah. What have you got?
I've read that.
Oh, you got your son back there. That's awesome. You did say
come up to here. Come up to talk to him. I'll bring him up to the microphone. You can't see him in the Discord. You'll be able to see him. On YouTube.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
So this is Riley. He sat up with me on the Saturday night last time. Obviously, we talked about it at the start of the thing. You can just see him just there popping in the background.
Yeah, I see him.
So I'll move the microphone up a little bit. All right, so you talk. You don't have to talk right into it. Talk up to there. Righto, go for it, Riles. What have you got for him?
I've read that you were earned by doing like.
Can you move the microphone a little bit closer?
doing
I was a bit
challenges,
cutting
does that
out.
mean that you'll be adding your own
Hold
challenges?
on, hold on. Start again and talk a little bit closer.
I've read that you will earn the coin by doing challenges and battling bosses. So does that mean you'll be adding new bosses and challenges, or will that be like the achievement and the Ender Dragon and Wither?
Yeah, so we're building. It's an MMORPG, so it's built to be very replayable. So you'll be able to do quests, dungeons. We're gonna be setting up boss battles as well. Like world, if you've ever played certain MMOs, they have world event boss battles. So for example, oh man, I'm trying to think. It's escaping me which MMO it is. But a lot of MMOs have world event boss battles, which is essentially where everyone in the entire server can all go fight a boss at the same time. And so the boss is like a very high health pool. And so that's one of the things we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing quests, dungeons, different things like that to really keep it replayable. And then obviously we're going to be adding to those over time and adding in new things for you to do as well. And then we're also going to have our mini games in there as well, and then events. And some of the events will be boss battles. Some of them will be other types of like big community events like a spleef tournament, different things like that. So yeah, we're building in a ton of stuff.
Is that, mate? You got another question, or is that good? Does that answer it? I'm just trying to see whether that answers it or not. It does. I'll move my microphone down a bit more. So he's keen. So the young fella has been moving to earn with me. He's actually been doing Step In, and since December we've been in it together. So he gets his own phone soon, gets his own crypto. So we bring him into the world of crypto as a 10-year-old, and
that's awesome.
This is one of the games he's looking at because he is a Minecraft player, like any 10-year-old. So does that mean that by physically playing the game that they'll have a chance to earn craft tokens?
Yes. So players that will be, I want to talk about this for about 1 or 2 minutes. So we actually hired an economist to work on our tokenomics. And with that, we actually have a very, I would say, not overly complex, but a decently like back-end complex tokenomics. So essentially how the earning works is you can stake and earn craft tokens. You can also play to earn craft tokens. You can also lock up your ghost guy to earn craft tokens. You can also pair your ghost guy with the ghost boy to earn more craft tokens. And then you can also lock up the craft tokens themselves to earn more craft tokens. So that's like a 5x multiplier, not literally like 1-to-1 5x multiplier.
So lots of utility and options of being able to earn, and then by staking the stuff that you've already earned and your NFTs and investing, it gives you a chance to multiply your earnings and potentially keep going. I keep seeing ghost guys, ghost boys. Why no ghost girls? Why aren't we getting the girls involved? Come on. Girl power. We're getting. You're gonna get yourself in hot water here by having no girls in the game.
I know, dude. We actually did an April Fool's where we said we were gonna make ghost girls. I think the thing is, I mean, honestly, one of the things is with the art. I feel like if we added like hair and things to it, that was one of the things we when I was doing the art actually back in fucking October or whatever. I quickly realized like no hair on any of these. It just looked so weird. It just did not look right. So I didn't put hair on any of them, which is probably one of the reasons why I probably wouldn't want to do ghost girls, because I feel like they would just look odd with like the current. They'd have to be completely different kind of art, I guess, and then maybe it'd be possible. But I mean, I don't know. I think we have a pretty in-depth plan with like our revenue streams and whatnot. So I feel like adding an extra NFT collection, especially right now when we haven't like delivered a game yet, probably wouldn't be the best plan for us, right? We really want to deliver on things before we even think about like, creating a new collection or anything like that. We have no plans to create any new collections.
I like that. So this is something that Kaiju, Mike said earlier about that as well, as you don't need to produce another NFT just for the point of making it and skimming some more Solana from the community. You can just actually put the game out first, get that, and then later on we can see these hairless looking girls coming out maybe. Because you can't make ghost babies without a ghost girl, can we? We can't breed.
Well, I think the boys are already there, right? So they did it somehow, right? They just produce them, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so we have a pretty good revenue model. So I'll talk for like 1 minute about that. So basically, we have our ghost guys, we have our ghost boys. All it's cool. We're gonna be adding in a bunch of partner projects. I've been here for 5 months talking with all these projects. doing the Twitter Spaces. Why do you think I've been doing them, Barn Dog?
Oh, I know, bro.
Why
I
do you
know.
think
There's a
why do you
lot
think I've
of.
been bringing on these 4 projects a week? You know, I'm getting them primed, man, getting them ready for Metaforge. And I also just like to learn about projects, and then I can work, learn about projects, and then I can work while learning about projects. So
This
it's
this is
perfect.
why I asked you about a casino, is because I know one that's building out that's looking for a home. So it
Really,
is
that's interesting.
a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
mean, definitely
this
tell me,
space is
tell me to
about
contact them.
Solana space is about finding devs that want to build their project, but not necessarily build a world. Yeah,
Mm,
I've got a team ready to go, so it's not one
yeah.
that I'm heavily invested in. I love the Solana gaming side of it and watching these teams
Mm,
build out. So
mm.
absolutely,
So
dude, we can hit up that later on.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then the last thing that's part of our revenue stream that's going to be coming further down the line, I'm thinking either Q3 or Q4. I'm not entirely sure yet because it's not like super important to our community. It's more about scaling and growth outside of Web3. Is we're creating something called the creation engine. So with the creation engine, essentially what it is if you've ever used anything like your son probably knows MC Skin Editor. Basically, it lets you draw up Minecraft skins. You can add in all the little pixels until you have a whole character drawn up. So we're going to create something similar to that with some templates on it for the less creative folk.
So
And
this is going to be a way for community to make their own skins, their own art, and then sell
so
them, and you take a small cut of that, and then they make the major
that's
cut.
actually going to be a way for us to add new players into the player base. So
Yep,
those skins will
yep.
function as passes into Metaforge that will be buyable with craft, right? And we're going to actually have our own swap on our site. So you'll be able to go straight from Sol or USDC straight into craft with only that, instead of having to go over to Radium and go through all the cryptos and try and find it. So we're trying to make it super simple for them.
But then I guess, do you just pair up through Jupiter or something like that on your website?
Yeah, I forget. I'm not a dev, but I think it's with like Jupiter API
Yeah.
or something. I'm not entirely sure that you can set it so it's only those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think it is Jupiter API. So we're basically going to use Jupiter API essentially.
Yeah,
But
they're very
just
very big amongst them, and I think
Mm.
obviously you use Mercurial Finance Jupiters in DeFi land, and they planned on using it in Star Atlas if that ever gets built. Yeah, in many other things.
Yeah. So it's just a super easy way. I mean, there's no point building something like that in house when there's a perfect tool that is already made for it.
Spot on.
But that just makes it super easy because our goal with the creation engine is really to bring in the Minecraft gamers, right?
Yep,
The true Web3 guys, they're gonna buy our NFT if they want to buy into the
So
ecosystem.
this is where I see it, and the young fella is a perfect example. Is that you're going to have the parents are going to want to try to get possibly their kids, and this is a great way for him to get into it, and for me to teach him about finances at the same time. So he's used another game to move to earn. He's going to get a pair of sneakers as a reward, and he's going to save up to buy potentially his own games going forward. And this is teaching a new generation about Web 3.0, blockchain, owning your asset. And then if you've had enough, you're bored, bang, you sell that asset, you move into another game. Or you've got a potential to make money playing your game from that base level. If you create skins, you're a creator, then they've got a way of getting more people into the system. And it sounds like that's part of your business model. So we should definitely look at
100%.
wrapping this up, my dude. Give us a closing statement of what's to look forward to in the next 4 weeks. Obviously the beta, but anything you want to go over.
Ooh, yeah. The beta is probably the biggest thing. I think we're going to be putting out a lot of announcements with partnerships with other PFP projects to bring them into the ecosystem, as well as actual ecosystem partnerships, different protocols that I've met with at the hacker houses that seem like they'd be a perfect fit for us. We've already had multiple talks. I've talked to them in person, and yeah, we have a few of those guys that I think are going to complement with our game really, really well. That we're going to be bringing in. One of them is data analytics, and the other one does wagering. So I think those two things, like with our mini games, right? We have 1v1s. We can add wagering in. You can wager some craft on a 1v1 with your friend. I think that would be super awesome. And then data analytics. I mean, that's data analytics. You need data.
So you're going to put in your own pools in for the wagering. Is that what you're saying, or you're going to try and use other things like I mentioned Ava tonight. I'm not trying to flog Ava off. I just know that they are a predictions protocol. So they've already got these things built in place.
Yeah, so right now it's with Ludex, and Ludex does 1v1 wagering at the moment. I think they're expanding soon to doing more like pool wagering.
Yep.
But right now it's just 1v1 wagering, and I've had talks with them. I met with them in person. They've been extremely helpful with helping our company and just giving me a fantastic advice. Um, and yeah, I think they're going to be really cool.
Enough
So
questions for now. We're gonna
currently
close
that's
it
who we're
off.
going to be working with, but as they expand, yeah, we'll be setting up pools and things like that.
Come up, quick.
Through their protocol, which will make it super easy because it's just an API. So yeah, that's going to be really cool. But yeah, we're going to be announcing some partnerships, putting out our beta. Our launcher is going to be finished up, and then this week I think we're going to be starting on our staking and finishing up our tokenomics very, very soon. So yeah,
Very cool.
getting it done.
I did have one more crowd question from the young fella.
Yeah, for sure.
Reach
You can
down,
ask
mate.
as many as he wants.
When you said that we're going to be wagering craft on PvP, will you have a hacked client tracker? Like someone could have an auto clicker to win.
Yeah, so we're creating our own client. So basically, you cannot get in Metaforge through normal Minecraft means. The only way to get in Metaforge is through our launcher and through our client. So if you open Minecraft and you try to go into our server, it will actually deny you access, and that is specifically to help against like auto clickers and against cheating, right? So those are problems in Minecraft because Minecraft has no anti-cheat built into it. So that's why we're building our own launcher. You have to go straight through that, and that's how you get whitelisted in the game when you connect your wallet and you have the NFT, right? If you gotten through normally, then you wouldn't be able to do that. So, yeah,
Good.
and we're building in anti-cheat into that. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's different, isn't it? Web 3.0, craft tokens, everything evolved. You've got to work out how to beat the bots
you got to
and beat
really
the cheating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 100%.
Very cool, Matt. Very, very cool, dude. I appreciate you coming in. It's good we got on stage finally. The young fella's happy because this is actually the second week of the school holidays for where we live in Queensland, Australia. So it was perfect timing for us. I look forward to it. I really do. Well, it's this is what we're going to be looking at, isn't it? Web 3.0 might go out to the children through the parents to start off with, and it's a way that we can get the kids to just this generational gap. So, my first son is 21 years old. So, Riley, being in the stepchild, is a little bit younger, and he's definitely in that and plays it all with his friends and stuff like that. So, they actually teach children at school about crypto in year 5 in Australia. So, 10-year-olds, they teach them about crypto.
I've been told that. I've been told they've been doing that over in other countries. To my knowledge, they don't do that in America yet, which is awfully sad because they definitely should.
Yeah, it's that bridge, isn't it?
Our schooling kind of sucks over here. It's a little behind, but we'll catch up one day.
One day.
Yeah, man.
That is
I have
amazing.
plenty more. I have plenty more we could talk about, but yeah, we'll wrap it up. It was really good talking with you, Barn Dog. I truly love talking with people that appreciate gaming and that appreciate Web3 gaming and blockchain gaming and understand, the trials of getting development done and just the time and amount of people it takes and resources. So.
The thing is, as well, is that Minecraft isn't my style of game. I've never played it. I've watched plenty of kids play it, and I can absolutely see the user base is millions. You don't have to be daft to see that, and that's why it's important to have a look and keep these games out there. And a lot of people really, really fucking enjoy the game. So the kids love it, and there's a good potential chance that they could make money as well from this. So at the same time, we need to protect them and help educate them about wallets and safety and all that kind of stuff along the way. But
yeah,
very, very cool, dude. I appreciate your time. Good luck with your beta launch, and we will get you back here at Grape and have another yarn at some stage.
Yes, of course, man. It was awesome talking to you. Definitely message me whenever if you have any questions. I'm happy to hop on a call with you. I love talking to you. So
I'll just double check. We've still got a good 10, 15 people on stage. Are there any questions from the live stage at all regarding any of the contestants? I've still got Satoshi's still here, so Adam's still here, and we've got Matt still on stage, just in case anyone in Discord. A lot of our gaming counselors here at the moment.
Yeah, ask me questions. I'd love to answer.
I can see Savage there. I know his kids play Minecraft. This is the thing, right? Is that
Yeah.
we've got
You
these
know what? I'm
people.
gonna start onboarding the adults to the kids, man. To the other way around. His kids are gonna be interested. And I'm gonna give
Honestly,
them a
it's
say.
I picked it straight away as soon as I thought, oh, they're playing Minecraft. I thought it's going to be something which you've got that chance, and the parents may be crypto natives, they might not be, they might be getting in another way. But now imagine paying your kids in a craft token, right? Pocket money. Do you want your craft token this week, kids? Then do the dishes. Get out there. You know, like it's one of these things. So it's a different avenue, dude. Like
Yeah.
the young fella earned pocket money from coming walking with me and Step In to start off with, and now that's grown on to teaching him more and more about crypto.
That's so awesome, man. That's so awesome that like blockchain just allows you to do that. You can just say, hey, we're just gonna go for a walk today, and you'll get your allowance for the day, and that's it. Like, and that's so awesome. Especially something like that is super cool. I've heard of Step, and they were actually at the Hacker House as well, so I had to talk with them.
Did you have a chat with K Train?
I think I met them by first name, so I don't know who it was.
I actually don't know his first name. That's
yeah. It's hard to know who's who. So I don't remember, but I remember I saw them. I walked past them a bunch of times, talked to them I think once, and
I saw some of the
like
photos and shirts and stuff. But no, Web 3.0 it's certainly changing, and I like to see projects coming out that are bringing 2.0 into 3.0. You know, at the same time, like you say, Matt, you don't want to overcomplicate it for them. You want to bring them in and onboard them into it, and it can expand from there. So they can still do that, playing the game, which is super awesome. Great, dude. I love your time. Thank you very much, and we will wrap it up there.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
So for everyone coming along, thank you very much. That is another week. Next week we have, who do we have next week? We've got DeFi Land, we've got the Remnants, and we've got Knife, Fork, Spoon coming back. They're going to have a rebrand with their Spoonverse. But yeah, three big names there. Two big names, and Knife, Fork, Spoon are going to be their rebranding to Game Hub. And it's really, really cool. We get some great projects here in at Grape. I really love what I do with some of these games and just opening up people's eyes to them. I'm hoping to play more and more games myself. But at the same time, we've got a gaming council here at Grape. We not just one person, myself, doing it all. We've got a team of people that are helping onboard new gamers and potential games and all this kind of stuff. So any extra information, any games that you want us to bring on a stage, please, by all means, let us know. Let us know on the gaming council. Get a hold of me at Grape Protocol. But other than that, as always, thanks for coming on. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits.